Hello and good evening, viewers, and wherever you're watching from all over the world. Here in Vancouver, it's morning and it's 10:14 a.m. And in Nigeria, where it's 7:14 a.m. Unfortunately, we are kicking off late because there's a time uh, adjustment in Canada, so we have a 1 hour adjustment in our time. So probably that's the reason why our timing is not so accurate as we advertised. But nevertheless, we thank God we are kicking off. You're welcome to the program With the People. With the People is a public commentary program where we'll discuss issues that affect us, that affect you, that affects everybody. And today our focus is on Imo State. We are trying to examine the present government in Imo State, led by Senator Hope Uzodinma. He's finished his first tenure, and he's, deep into his second tenure. And it does seem that for some obvious reasons, or for some reasons we can't really be sure, something is about changing in the polity of Imo State. But that is the package we are going to unveil as we continue with this program. So today I have with me a political strategist, a man you cannot dismiss when it has to do with politics in Imo State. In whichever way you look at it, his relevance cannot be dismissed. He has also caught his controversial waters, but the fact remains he is a force to reckon with as far as Imo State politics is concerned. And I'm talking about Dr. Fabian Nyekweme. He is going to be my guest today in the program. So let me welcome him. Dr. Fabian Nyekweme, you're welcome to We the People Show.
Thank you very much, Hart.
Okay. I hope it's all cool and easy over there in Owerri. If you can hear me, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. All right. So today we are going to look at Imo State. We're going to look at the polity, the government of Imo State, their policies, their programs, their activities. But before we move on, I want us to pay tribute to Chief Emmanuel Iwanyamu Gamba, who has just left us. He was a father to
Yes.
all. Yeah. So in that perspective, let me ask you what you make of Iwanyamu, because Iwanyamu is like a big elephant. So people describe him from the angle they touch. So from what angle did you touch, and what do you see Iwanyamu as?
Ahaja Gamba was a great leader. He was an icon. In fact, a sage. You cannot think about Igbo nation without mentioning Ahaja Gamba. We lost him. He has played his role. We appreciate him and we love him and we will continue to miss him. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So more so on issue concerning Aheja Gamba has to do with the Ohanes Ndigbo issue, because he's the President General of Ohanes Ndigbo and he has just left, and now there seems to be a vacuum, and there's been this controversy, springing up about succession. People are saying, should it go to River State? I mean, some people in River State are already crying foul that they want to be deprived of their chances of or their chance of producing the successor to Chief Emmanuel Iwanyawu. And some people are saying Iwanyawu is about tenor. It's about his tenor finishing first. And I mean, I don't know if you are a follower of the Ohanese organization, and then what's your own. If you are a follower, what do you see as happening there?
The truth is that I'm not really a keen follower for Haneze, but it's our foremost social cultural body. So make no mistake about that.
Okay.
And then, if the law says or the constitution says that it is the turn of River State, I don't think there's any point for anybody to argue about that. After all, somebody from Delta had been as a president once upon a time. So what stops somebody from River State? We have our brothers there. Yes, there are some of them, for one reason or the other, frowned at the fact that they are not Igbo. But I think they are coming back to reality right now. And you cannot also take away many of them that believe in their roots, that believe that they are Igbos.
Okay.
At some point also, it has to go to Bayelsa, go to everywhere where Igbos are settled. So there is nothing wrong with that. It cannot only be rotated or just among the five states in the core southeast. No. So I think Rivers should take it. We have our brothers who are there.
Okay.
That's my that's my thinking about it.
Okay. So let me now come to the meat of the matter. Today, we want to look at the Imo State government, and it does seem that some people are thinking that has Dr. Fabian Ekweme become the, I mean, the long anticipated opposition voice in Imo State? Because for a long while, in fact, apart from when Senator Hope Uzodinma assumed leadership in the very manner he came and the issues that resonated at that time, after a little while, the opposition died off. There was no criticism about the government, or nobody had anything. Coupled with insecurities, like everybody was cowed, or that people that just chickened out and left the states, the governor to be, I mean, doing as he wishes. Nobody, I mean, criticized him. But all of a sudden, people started hearing, somebody, courageously and loudly, I mean, criticizing the government. So what is actually going on? Are you now assuming that long anticipated role of the opposition to the government?
Well, there are different interpretations, to what people say. People call me the voice of the people, voice of the masses, and so on and so forth. That's not the issue. Anybody can speak. The truth is that, by the way, I supported the current governor. His first time in the office, his second time in the office. So ideally, somebody would ask, but you brought this disaster that is in Imo today. Many people have said that. Many people have asked me that. You know, I said yes. At times you may support somebody without knowing exactly, the character, the true character of that person. I can tell you that the Senator Hope Uzodinma I know before he became governor is not the same person today. I noticed that even in his first tenure, and I was asking questions, and that was the reason I had to go. But this second term, I formed a group called Imo Social Contract. We wanted to see a good candidate that we can support, a good candidate that can govern Imo State, a good candidate that can take care of the people. We looked around. Sincerely, I am somebody I like to be convinced. If you tell me that you want to be governor, you want to be president, you want to, I want to hear you. I want to be convinced. That was what informed my decision to support P2B. I sat with him, I listened to him. He convinced me, and I followed him. Thereafter, when the second election, the governorship election in Imo State, I didn't say any candidate. No candidate convinced me. It was still the Hope Uzodinma who called me and told me in Igbo language, that means the thing that got us beaten in the night, let us assume it was mosquito, that he was going to be better this time around. And I said, okay, he had only one tenure. There's this popular saying that the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. I said, okay, let us see how we can manage him. Hence, he has said he is going to, be better. We got him elected again. This is 1 year. 1 year after he resumed office, he was sworn in. The governor has never stayed in Imo State for complete 1 week. Some people will say, because he didn't reappoint me. I told him from the beginning, I didn't want to work in Imo. I don't live in
Yes,
Imo, I live in Abuja.
let me come to that because when advertised this program, some of the commentaries I got, somebody sent me a note and he said I should ask you that is it not about what is in it for you? You know, he said if your palms are greased, that you will stop firing. You know that this is about what you get. So is that true?
If I don't need my palms to be greased before I speak out for my people. I told him from the beginning that I didn't want to work in Imo State to govern Imo State well. And he assured me that I have always been an advocate of good governance. It mustn't be about me. I don't know whether you have been to Imo State lately. You can't be a governor and everything you do is shrouded in secrecy. And those things are supposed to be official assignment that people must know what you are doing. And nobody knows. Even people working for you, they don't know what you are doing.
So in the last
So how
tenure,
can people survive under such
yeah,
rulership?
in the last tenure of the government, when you were a commissioner, your ending of that assignment, was it out of your own volition that I mean you're fed up, or were you fired? People keep asking that question. Is it that
No,
you were
I was
fired
not
or
fired.
was
No, no, no. I was not fired. He dissolved the cabinet. He dissolved the cabinet. I don't know for what reason. So I left. I went back to Abuja. That was why he said that I'm not patient. And the reason why I left, I didn't come back, was because I started seeing a whole lot of things going on, wrongly. The government was run at the first tenure with a heavy department of gossip, because it seems the man thrives on gossip. No good ruler sits down and listens to rubbish from people. The person cannot be able to make good decisions. So I was not sacked. He 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 got his cabinet off and reappointed, some more people. But by that time, I was already fed up because he created one funny ministry called Foreign and International Affairs. And you remember it was during COVID time. I was not able to do much, but I only tried to situate the ministry very well. A few
yes, because
investors I
because
brought.
everybody got worried at that time. People actually wanted to know what your brief was then as commissioner for foreign affairs, knowing that foreign affairs is an exclusive activity for federal government and the nation states.
Yes,
So they
I
were they
know.
were worried
I
and
know.
say, what were your brief then as commissioner for
No,
foreign affairs?
sincerely, I know it was an exclusive preserve of the federal government. But then the constitution says the governor, can appoint attorney general and any other commissioner as he seems as he deems fit. So in that sense, the governor has right to appoint anybody and call anybody's name, call the designation however he wants. That was actually the way I saw it. And he also assured me that he was going to create exclusive work for me, to be doing. But the issue was, you could have also said it's commissioner for foreign investments and diaspora matters. That would have made a lot of sense. But he said commissioner for foreign and international affairs. So
Do you see
I,
that? Do you see that as a product of ignorance or an intentional act to, I mean, to cage you,
no,
to make you
I
inactive?
don't think it's a product of ignorance. I think it was a calculated plan to pack me somewhere. I don't know. That's my thinking, because
Maybe
there
he
was
think
no need
maybe
for me
maybe maybe he thinks you are
speaking.
too maybe he thinks you are too active and probably wants something that will reduce you to some control.
No, so as far as you are a governor, nobody has power over you. You understand? So unless he doesn't trust himself, or he's some complex or so. So that's the way I look at it. Because when you are a governor, you are a governor. So you don't have to suspect your subordinate, somebody under you. Will the person overthrow you? Is it a military government? And the person has pledged unfettered loyalty to you. So what's the headache? So I didn't
Okay.
say anything like that. For me, I think when you listen to a lot of gossip, they will be reading, showing you some clauses in uh, uh, this book. What's the name of that book? 48 Laws of Power.
48 laws of power. Okay.
Don't overshadow your
Yeah,
master.
it's about
This and that.
maneuvering and yeah.
But if I don't know. So whatever I do, they see it probably as this man is trying to overshadow his master. How can you
Mm.
overshadow a governor of a state? How? It's not possible. So your job is to provide good living, provide governance, credible governance and leadership, for the people. That's what you are elected to do, not to be checking who is overshadowing you or who is doing this or who is doing that. That's
Okay.
clannish.
All right. Okay, so Dr. Fabian Helkome, we are going to go further in this discussion, but I want to tell our viewers that the program is on, and you can also drop your comments on our comment section. We'll pick it up if you have any comments to drop. I know that a lot of people a lot of people will be waiting for the next hour to connect with the program because of the miscalculation in time. But then, for those who are able to watch, if you have any comments, you can drop on the comment section or any question for our guests. We'll take it up. Today we'll have Dr. Fabian Nyekweme, who is discussing the situation of Imo State politics, or the government of Imo State as led by Senator Hope Uzodinma. So, Dr. Fabian Yankome, let me come to the specifics of some of the issues you are raising. Because why I'm saying this is we are in the era of social media. A lot
Some
of
of the issues
stories,
I've been raising,
yeah, some of the issues you've raised, you've shown concern, about how they are being handled in Imo State by the government, like the plants in Orashi, they forgotten the real name of that place. So, but before I come to that, we are in the era of social media. A lot of stories fly about. So sometimes you can actually know the one that emanated, from the acclaimed or from the claimed person. So sometimes as media practitioners, we make extra efforts to make sure that we pin down stories to their origins, to make sure that there is acceptance that it comes from us. So that's why I'm going to ask you to, you know, highlight some of the specific issues that gives you concern, project-wise in Imo State that you think that the government is not handling well, and probably how you think it should be handled to make sure that the people benefit.
you see, the whole thing is very, very complex and annoying, so to say. Some of the projects that I've mentioned, previously, are very serious issues. The issue of Orash power plant you mentioned, even before that Orash power plant, there was this dredging of Uguta Lake. You know, now it was a very good project. When we announced the dredging of Uguta Lake, that will be linked to Atlantic Ocean, so that we can have a credible waterway, to attract businesses and all whatnot.
Yeah.
In fact, it was the vice president that came and commissioned that project. You know, so he did the survey, the study plan, the environmental impact assessment, and all whatnot. These things cost a lot of money to
Yeah.
even do the survey. $10 million or $15 million. Environmental impact assessment, maybe $5 million and all whatnot. Then the study plan, that one will take another, billions of dollars. And of course, there must be a technical consultant. no technical partners, and then a foreign consultant who is vast, in such projects and all whatnot. So he will succeed in doing all the preliminaries and spend the whole money. And after that, you would hear about the project again. From that dredging, he now jumps to this Orashi power plant. In fact, that Orashi power plant started when people were applauding the governor of Abia State for setting up, I think, 280 megawatts of power, this electricity. So people were now clapping and applauding him. All of a sudden, from nowhere, he now said that he's building, or he has even built 350 megawatts that to give power to every nook and cranny in Imo State. We started clapping. But if you now look deeper into whatever project he said he's doing, you will see the hand of ESO, and the whole thing is just shrouded in secrecy. Who are the technical partners? You will not see. Which company are you using to do this thing? Nobody knows. Nothing. Meanwhile,
Doc, as you go on, let me remind you, there was a time that the governor said he has signed a pact with a company in Egypt for production of power in Imo State. And remember that P2B visited Egypt. So could it be that he was trying to emulate P2B? And is that Egypt signing of contract related to this Orashi plant? Or is it a different one?
he's asking for loan, $1.5 billion. So Afrexim Bank is supposed to come to Imo to do some projects, including that Rush power plant. There are other projects, that they were set out to do. But the problem is that he signed agreement. Who and who signed the agreement? Did he tell Imo people what he had signed? Which government official followed him to Egypt to sign the agreement? We want to know all these things. Let us know the terms of the agreement you are signing or you have signed on our behalf. These are the issues we are asking. Nobody is saying you shouldn't sign any agreement. But what we are saying is that let us see what you have signed. How can he be going to Cairo, going to Egypt? You go alone. He goes with that one lady from, I think, Ogun State or Lagos. Her name is Bola. That's the only person I've seen. He calls her a consultant. So there is nobody from Imo State. There is no government official. The Attorney General has never traveled with him. The Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, who has a lot to do with whatever he's doing there. The Commissioner for Finance, nothing. They don't travel with him. They don't know what he's doing. Nobody knows what he's doing. The state doesn't know what he's doing. The people don't know what he's doing. So how can we now, applaud him that he's doing the right thing? You want to collect 1.5 billion naira. The people you want to collect 1.5 billion naira, they have come to Nigeria 2 times, waited for you. At times, they will spend 1 month here. You will not see them. They will go. 2 good times. They even went to London when they got information that he was coming to London. In fact, he is the one who gave them an appointment. The people went to London, waited for him in London. They didn't see him. They went. Now, the same people who waited for you, who went 2, 3 times looking for you, you now went to Egypt that you are going for meeting with that phrasing. But does it work like that? So what is the issue? He is pursuing the 1.5 billion naira. He wants to collect the money, and the people are not ready to give him the money because they want to see his technical partners. They want to see government involvement, people involvement in the 1.5 billion dollar loan. That's the issue. If he is real, let him carry his ESCO members, those who have something to do with whatever those people want to do in Imo State. Let them carry. He doesn't even need to go to Cairo. He should have his technical partners who should be concluding all these deals. That's how it works. You can't just enter plane alone. You are a governor. It's just like Tinubu. The president of Nigeria will enter plane and leave the country that he was going for to sign agreement with some organization or with World Bank. Tinubu, the president will go alone. Can that happen? But this is a governor who goes alone. He doesn't go with anybody. He doesn't want anybody to know what he's doing. Yet he's the governor of a state. And he wants to go and sign an agreement on behalf of the state. And he didn't tell the people that, see, oh, I am going to sign agreement. Okay, this last trip, he's in Egypt as we speak. He came back to Imo State on Friday. "48 days, almost more than one and a half months. After 48 days, he attended the burial. The next morning, Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, he's out. He landed Abuja. Then the next minute, he's in the plane. He's off to Cairo, Egypt. Who did he tell that he's going to Egypt? Nobody. Whose money is he spending? Taxpayers' money. Does it work like that? No, it doesn't work like that.
Okay. That's really disturbing. But in all of this, how, I mean, what role is the House of Assembly playing? Because the House of Assembly is supposed
That's
to
why
be,
people will be governed by such a human being.
yeah, the House of Assembly ordinarily is supposed to be oversighting the governor. We have checks and balances. Now, what is actually going on with Dimo State House of Assembly? And this loan he wants to access, is it captured in the budget? Does it have House of Assembly approval?
You see, let me tell you, he doesn't want to follow due process. In fact, the bank told him that there must be good due process to be able to access this loan. There must be good due process. There must be. I mean, you can't just. Anyway, the House of Assembly you're talking about, which House of Assembly, by the way, for the past 5 years, I think he has changed the leadership of the House 5 times, either 4 or 5 times. So the House can't talk. He's the one who approves everything about the House. He makes anybody he wants, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, committee chairman. He's the one who he can't do nothing. Everything the House does, they must get permission from him. So the House definitely is not independent.
That's really pathetic. So
That's the truth.
yeah. So now there's an issue I want to ask you. I don't know if you're aware of it. That somebody raised an alarm sometime that in Imo State, that the students, especially the primary school pupils who are supposed to write their common entrance, before they now, in fact, the common entrance is what is supposed to qualify you to now get into the secondary school. They are saying that for about 2 or 3 years now, Imo State has not been able to write common entrance. In fact, I think a few days ago, I saw a notice talking about those who are going to write the common entrance. And the guy was saying that, look, people that are already in JS2, JS3, JS1 are coming to write common entrance in Imo State. I don't know if you are informed about this development.
Well, I have had that. I have had that. But the reason why I will not doubt anything is because the state is just hanging. There is no governance. I can tell you this authoritatively. I am sorry to say this, but that is the truth. There is no governance in Imo State. So if such thing has been published, I will never doubt it. I've had it, but I've not investigated that. But nothing is impossible in Imo State. Nothing is. Who is the commissioner for education? He dare not to do anything now. And it's only what the governor asks him to do. That's what he will do. And of course, he has no job. The man has destroyed the state judiciary. He has destroyed the state legislature. He has destroyed every goddamn institution in Imo State. No institution is working. No corporation is working. No company is working. No agency is working. No parastatal is working in Imo State. And they don't have funds. How much is the salary of a commissioner? 433,000 naira. When I was a commissioner, he was paying us 433,000. Now, even after the devaluation of naira, he's still paying 433,000 naira. When I was a commissioner, he paid us interest only for two months. Now he's paying interest of 500,000 naira to ministries, and it's not even regular. So how can a minister, how can a commissioner perform? Anyway, commissioners don't have work to do actually. Some of them have relocated out of Imo State. I know people would not like to say this, but that's the truth. The world has to know. Some of them have relocated out of Imo State because they have no work to do. They are jobless. After
Wow.
4 years, the commissioners that served, he collected the vehicles from them. The vehicles after 4 years, collected the vehicles and gave to the new people. If you go to the street of Imo, those vehicles are parked on the roadside because they are bad. They have been driven for over 4 years. And it was not even brand new vehicles when he purchased them. So there is no fun working for government.
Wow.
His commissioners, his SS, his top advisors or whatever, they are hungry. I
Wow.
said they are hungry. What can a man with family do with a salary of 433,000? And you don't have nothing else to do. Don't have any other means of making money from that government. That's why they don't go home. They don't go home. Those commissioners, SAs and all. You see, they don't go home.
Okay. Wow. That sounds very pathetic. Okay. So now in this whole situation, Doc, what do you think should be the way out? Because you can't just be the only voice. You can't just be the only voice, out there talking and shouting. I mean, what effort are you making to rally like minds together? Because we know in this day and age, people have become so cheap. Somebody says,
Hello?
"Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think we're having a network issue there. Can you hear me? Okay, let me see if we can reconnect again and call, and let me see. Can you hear me now? Is it clear now? Your video is hanging. I think the network is not so good.
Yes,
So
I'm hearing you.
you're still on to Where the People Show, coming to you live from Vancouver, and I'm on with Dr. Fabian Hiekweme, who is a political strategist, former commissioner in Imo State, and he's discussing the present style of leadership of Senator Uzodinma in Imo State. The network is unfortunately disturbing, but I want to see if we can get back to him, and he's connecting back. So, hello, Doc. Are you back?
Yes,
Can you
I'm
hear
hearing
me
you. I'm
clearly?
hearing
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yeah, we had a glitch there, but not the INET glitch anyway. Okay. So, yeah. So let's move on. I was trying to ask you, you know, in this whole situation, what should be the way out? Because you are right now like the only voice out there shouting. I mean, is there any plan to rally like minds? Even though we know that poverty has been weaponized in Nigeria generally, and people have impoverished so that they can always sing the praises of the leaders, even those ones who are oppressing them also. But is there anything you're doing out of the box to get some like minds to build some good resistance or opposition to some of these malfeasance in governance that you're talking about?
Well, this is not time for politics. Actually, what I'm doing is to, if you watch some of my write-ups, I try to beg the governor. I try to plead with him to have mercy on Imo people. What I'm doing, I'm not rallying around people. I'm not forming any um, group to maybe to start attacking or criticizing government. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is to point out issues, and ask the governor to address these issues. But unfortunately, they are not address the issues. They are not addressing the issues. Like the whole of last week, they unleashed all the media aides of the governor. So they were all attacking me and all. I didn't attack them back. You know, I was only saying that we elected you, rightly or wrongly. You are our governor, and you are the one, in charge of our welfare, in charge of our allocations, that come every month. So it is your duty to protect us. It is your duty to make sure that the people you are governing are well, are okay. So the major problem is that the governor doesn't live in Imo State. So, and I wonder why a governor of a state will be governing his state from somewhere else. It baffles me. So these are the things that are making me crazy. That how can this be happening in Imo State? What have we done? Every other state, every other state have moved on. Abia has moved on. Enugu has moved on. Even Ebonyi has moved on. Anambra has moved on. Their governors are residing in their various state capitals and they are doing projects. The Enugu state governor is moving here and there. He imported tractors, Massey Ferguson have combined harvesters and all whatnot. And he's now setting up a tractor plant in Enugu state. You see what Abia state governor is doing. Everybody is trying to do something tangible, do something good for people. But our own governor is playing politics in Abuja. You know, that's what's baffling everybody. He's playing politics in Abuja. He's not bothered about what is going on in the state. If you're not bothered about what is going on in the state and you are tired of being a governor, resign. Let somebody else take over. That's what I'm saying. You can't be outside the state. Every 22 days, you collect our allocation, state allocation, you collect local government allocation, you collect 13% derivation, you collect special funds the president give them every month. You collect excess crude, you collect sovereign welfare fund, you collect internally generated revenue, and you vamoose. We won't hear anything from you again until you know it doesn't. Is it good? It doesn't work like that, man. That's why I said he should pity the people. He should pity the people. People are
Well,
suffering.
well, some in
If
Nigeria, some
local
some
government
some
fund,
analysts, will disagree with you that the Nigerian situation has gone beyond the method of appeal or playing. That some legal, probably legal actions, some biting, if it's legal actions, should be introduced to hold people accountable. Some of the things going on, like some of these projects you're talking about. I mean, shouldn't citizens whose monies are being invested in such things, I mean, be able to approach the court to ask questions about some of these things? We have a
no,
freedom of
let me
information
tell
law
you.
and all that.
Can I interject here?
Yeah.
The problem is that the people don't know what he is doing. So how can he go to court when you don't know what the man? That's why he's secretly doing this whole thing. You will go to court when you have the facts of the matter. Nobody knows what he's doing. So people are even surprised. Which one is Orash power plant? Which one is dredging? Which one is this and that? Because he has not made any documents. You've shown any document to anybody. It's only when you have the facts you can now go to court. If you go to court, what will you tell court? That is the issue. Everything the man does is shrouded in secrecy. I've never seen a man that is highly secretive than our governor.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that let him sit down at home and provide leadership to the people. That is all. Let him sit down, provide leadership at home. In the morning, he wakes up, takes security reports, and look at the projects he has set out to do. I've started this one. I have not started this one. Okay, I'm going to start this one on Monday. I'm going to start this one on Tuesday. Move around, move to various local governments. He has never moved to any local government since he became governor. Since 5 years. He doesn't go. Except when he's going to his own local government or his own hometown or Muma. And yet, this local government collect huge amount of money. Go to my local government now. In fact, you will see only overgrown grasses and weeds that have taken over the place. By last August, my local government got 266 million. September, we got 271 million. So where is the money? And yet, there's no money to cut the grasses. We're not even talking about infrastructure. There's no money to cut ordinary grasses. So
Okay, so Doc, vis-a-vis the local government issue you have raised now that purported local government elections have held, we now have elected people manning the local governments. Even though there are echoes everywhere that these guys are going to be like stooges to the governors, do you think the people can see this opportunity now to now hold these people accountable since the Supreme Court and the federal government have said that their monies are going to be disbursed directly to them? So can the people, is there any initiative that can come up now that can assist the people to hold these people directly responsible so that even if the governor mandates them to do what is not right, they will know that the law will catch up with them and at least they can be able to resist it.
well, the answer is very straightforward. The Supreme Court has spoken. National Assembly also have spoken. We are holding those chairmen. However they came to power, however they were elected, whether they were nominated or selected or elected, whatever it is, we have accepted them. They are executive chairmen now. But one thing they must understand: people are watching them. The money for my own local government, if it comes, if that chairman likes, let him take the check to Hope Uzodinma. That's his business. But he must provide that money because the law has empowered them already. Supreme Court has empowered them already. The checks will be written on the local government name, and he is the one that will go and pick it up. He can pick it up and go and hand it over to Hope Uzodinma. I learned or I heard allegedly, and one or two of them confirmed to me also that they signed their resignation letters. All of them. They have already signed their resignation letters. So you now ask yourself, what is this? Is this democracy or dictatorship? Eh?
Yeah, this issue of pre-signing of resignation letters, maybe someday I'm going to bring a lawyer to talk about it, but I don't know how efficacious that can be because even if I write a resignation letter and then you throw it up someday. And I said, no, I've not resigned, you know, and I state the facts. I don't know
No,
how
you
compelling.
can, if you sign your resignation, you complete, and you come and say you didn't resign. But no, you have resigned. They will just put date. You signed and you completed,
Yeah, but
and you now come and say you
but
didn't
can
resign.
they go and swear an affidavit right now to say that they were
No,
compelled to do that under duress,
if they
and
do
also
that,
keep it secret until when the jungle matures.
if they do that, he will wipe all of them out. He will remove all of them. I mean, he will remove all of them. He will just use one resolution in House of Assembly.
And
House of
suspended.
Assembly. He will just use one resolution
And
and remove
suspended.
all of them.
It's really funny the kind of democracy we are practicing. It's really funny.
It's a very funny situation.
Yeah.
It's a very funny situation. And almost all those chairmen, they have no choice. I'm telling you, they have no choice. The man will never pick people that can stand up to him. Never. He will never look at those ones.
Yeah. Okay.
He will never.
Okay, Dr. Fabian Hekweme, unfortunately, time is no more on our side. I wish we had the luxury of time to talk more and more. But from time to time, we'll be engaging you to discuss on issues. But before
Sure.
you sign off, I just wanted to give us your feel on the issue of this equity in Imo State. A lot of people are coming up with the Charter of Equity issue, where the governorship goes in 2027, even though we've not got enough goodies of the one we are into, but people are already talking about 2027 as if 2027 is going to be the Messiah year for for us in Nigeria. So, what's your take on the issue of zoning vis-a-vis Charter of Equity?
On a personal note, I don't believe in zoning. On a personal note, but if there must be zoning, it must be done in a spirit of fairness and the same equity they are talking about. We have discussed this equity to a certain extent. I now stopped talking about it, and the reason is that I now came to I realized that this is just a strategy the governor just wanted to use to engage us. You know, he likes crisis situation. He believes in divide and rule. My governor, he
Okay.
likes crisis situation. He will be laughing where he is. You will go to him. He will condemn the other person. The other person will go to him. He will condemn you. So he likes that. So this crisis situation, this equity issue, the charter of equity, there's nothing wrong with it. But I now discovered that it was now a game for him. I was not telling people, let's talk less of this charter of equity. Let's look for somebody, who use ego eye. This one is no longer, this man is a very good man, he's highly philanthropic and so on and so forth. And we now, because of emotion, we now go and elect a wrong person again. So there's nothing wrong candidate or a good candidate coming from our zone and we support that person. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you bring out an imbecile, if you bring out a thief from our zone, and then there's another thief from Luzon, and then another thief from Okigwe zone, what do? We are now confronted with three thieves. So we have to now select one of the thieves, or we look at the one that is less criminal, and then we select that person, we elect that person. So that's the only way. But I just hope that God will help us, to have good people, to
Yeah.
have credible people, credible candidates as options. So we can now move ahead with them. But what we will not tolerate is for somebody to foist a candidate or another governor on us. No, we will not accept that.
Okay. Okay, on that note, Dr. Fabian Hekume, I want to thank you sincerely for being our guest today and shedding light on these germane issues that you've discussed with us. We hope that the governor will, hear your pleas and, mend his ways and ensure that Imo people are happy And we also believe that you don't relent also in your effort to hold the government accountable. Once more, we thank you for being our guest. And on this note, we're going to be signing off for the program. But let me have your parting word.
Well, I just want to use the opportunity to beg Imo people, to be prayerful because this thing has gone beyond the ordinary. Imo people must be prayerful and also start holding Governor Hope Uzodinma accountable. And I'm also on the same note begging the governor to have pity on Imo people. Come back home and restart your government. You still have 3 years. Show us all the things you said you are doing. Let us also advise you. If you are dredging the Uguta Lake, let us know. If you are doing roads, let us know how much you are doing roads. This Owerri Olu Road, Owerri Okigwe Road. These are roads that are very, very key. Yes, you are doing it. At what price? At what rate? It was the Owerri Olu Road. I think it was budgeted for 58 million. All of a sudden, they now inflated it to 125 billion, from 58 billion to 125 billion. Then Owerri Olu Road, from 45 billion to 105 billion. Just like that. You see, these things are the issues. And the governor has to come open to us. He has to be transparent. He has to be accountable. That's what